we're live.
We're live. Yeah, man. When was the last time, man? It's been
Over a year.
Over a year for sure. I think I was still a white belt.
Yeah, and you're making your way up the ranks.
And I think you were still a purple belt.
Yeah, still a purple belt. Got my first degree yesterday there. You weren't there.
Yes, I was. Yeah, man.
Yeah, you were.
I got a stripe too.
Shit.
Second degree here, blue.
Sorry, man. I got memory of goldfish. I did congratulate you. Yeah, man, it's a wild ride. This jiu-jitsu stuff, man. Like, I remember you first started, and, you know, a lot of people, though, you see them come in, and in a couple of weeks, they're
gone.
Which is a shame, because it's just like anything. It's like, if you just would have held on, I think you maybe would have had a little breakthrough.
Man, I agree. Even there's some white belt. I like to know people's names. So I'd meet a new white belt, I'd get to know them, try to remember their name. Next thing I know, I never see them again. So I've stopped doing that, because I have too many names that are just in my head that I'm never going to meet again. So...
Bro, names are super important. Like, that was drilled into me at a young age from my father. And then also I call him my business dad. My buddy used to be my old boss at Unilever, Rick Monroe, when I worked under him. He's like, man, one thing you got to remember when we go to these meetings is people's names. Because if you can address them by name on the next encounter, even though you've only met them once, like, that has, like, tremendous weight behind it.
100%. People are like...
Garners respect.
Exactly. You know, I'm not saying we're selfish, but people like to know that they're memorable.
Them.
Yeah. So if you say their name, that's just one part of it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And it's funny, like, my wife, she's awesome. But, like, I go overboard, probably like you, to try and remember these names, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I only have to meet you a couple times, maybe even once. And I kind of have, like, this mental gymnastics in my head where I try and like lock it in.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, every time we go, say we were going to dinner with you and your wife, and maybe she'd only met you guys once, which I don't know if you've ever met. That was just in theory.
Right.
She'd be like, yeah, we're going to dinner tonight, but I know we met, but who are they again? And I'm like, man, Caitlin, you really got to, like, remember their names. Like, what about if you didn't ask me and you wanted to, like, address one of them at the dinner? And you know, you're just like,
it would be awkward.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like, I don't know. It's just like, it's a little off for me. Like, I want to be able to say their name. Even like when I go to Tim Hortons or anywhere, any establishment where they have a name tag, if they service me or get me a drink or get my food or take my order, I always say thank you. And if I can see the name, I say, thanks, Manny. Have a great day.
Yeah, that probably makes them feel great.
Right? Like a person.
Exactly, not just like a robot.
Yeah, a pawn in the cog of a wheel of a bigger machine, you know? So it's, I'm glad you said that, because names and remembering people is super important. And I mean, when we look at even, like, you know, my job, for instance, like, I have to leave some kind of impact when I meet people, or I just get lost in the shuffle and I'm just another agent.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, it's double.
Super important.
Yeah, super important. So... But yeah, man, just to touch on, I guess, a few things. I just want to welcome you on back, Manny. We were here to talk last time about real estate investing. Really enjoyed that, obviously, because I'm in real estate. And I've actually got some really good feedback, funny enough. More people than I expect actually watch the podcast.
Our one?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
To other realtors, like, I talked to a few people.
Awesome.
Because sometimes we're looking at real estate investing, and one guy even sent it to his client and was like, yeah, maybe listen to this. Like, do you know a Steve Coleman?
We're talking about remembering names.
Right.
Not off the top of my head. Maybe at some point.
Anyway, that's one of the guys I was talking to on the phone, and he mentioned it, and he's like, yeah, my client's, like, looking at investing, and I seen your podcast, and, you know, I thought it was really good information, so I kind of, like, mentioned maybe you should, like, watch it. So I was like, oh, wow, that's super cool.
That's very nice of him. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, right. And it's like, especially, like, you know, the confidence of another agent to direct a client to, you know, a competitor, essentially. Because even though we're on the same team, like Remax or Royal or wherever you are, we're still our own businesses, right? So we're technically competitors, but some of us are on the same boat, some of us are on a different one. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just that people are listening.
Yeah. And this guy, Steve, I don't know him at all, probably, but the fact that he's even willing to share this to his client because he watched something that's valuable shows that this guy's going, you know, a little above and beyond for his client, even though technically, like you said, you're a competitor, but he's looking out for his client. So that's awesome for him.
Yeah, man, I'm a big believer. and obviously we'll probably make some comparisons to jiu-jitsu all throughout this conversation, some parallels, but even in real estate, in jiu-jitsu, in life, like, I don't keep secrets.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty open book all around. Like, if you want to know something about me, like, I'll tell you. If you have the courage enough to ask the question, like, I'm going to answer it truthfully. So whether it's about real estate, whether it's how I do my social media, how I market to clients, how I get new clients, how I maintain clients, or if it's on the jiu-jitsu front, like, if we roll and I sub you 2 or 3 times or maybe just once, and you don't know how you got to that, and you just ask, like, hey, I don't really know how you got there, but it was super cool, and I'd like to be able to do that. Like, can you show me? It's like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, people love that too. I get pumped when I sub them and they're surprised how, and they want advice, right? Especially coming from someone who's not very good not too long ago, being able to pass on to the next generation. It feels great.
Well, it's like, I don't know, like, I used to go through the world a little bit as like, I started in team sports, playing a lot of hockey, and that was fun. It was some of the greatest memories of my childhood. And then I don't know, I went on this like path where I didn't think I needed anybody. I was just like, I can do this all on my own. But man, it's a pretty lonely road when you kind of have that attitude.
It is.
And I find there's a great value in the collective.
I think so. Real estate, life, business, jiu-jitsu. Yeah. That's actually one of my favorite things about jiu-jitsu. Just the family unit that it kind of seems like. Everyone is there to help each other, and it's a community. And that's props to Joel and Waylon for creating that kind of environment.
And they always had that thought in mind too. Like Waylon says all the time, like, I'll be like, man, it's crazy how much you guys have grown since Cornwallis when you guys first opened. He's like, bro, it's we grew.
100%. Yep.
He's like, it's not just me and Joel, it's all of you. And like, that's very impactful to hear, because that's all, and that just shows it's always the mindset that they had. It's
funny, we were talking, I have a little group chat with some of the guys at the gym, and one of the guys talked about, other gyms and stuff. We were just, having general discussion.
Yeah.
And someone said, would you go to X gym over here if it was free? I'm like, no, I wouldn't. Just the community environment that Halifax BJJ has created, I'm loyal, That's where I'll be attending, moving forward. I don't care if gym down the road is free, $10, $20. There's no way I'm leaving that gym, and that's because it's a great gym.
Yeah, man, and I resonate with that 100%, and especially like one of the coolest things I found, like we got a lot of dads at the club.
Yeah, tons.
Like your new dad. I mean Joel. I mean CJ. I mean Dr. V. That's what I call him anyway. I mean, almost everybody. I mean, there's a few guys that don't have kids, but they're just as equally as awesome of people. But, we're going to have a little girl in September. And, the craziest part is like the overwhelming, like I grew up in a fishing village where like the men were just like gruff and salty, and like, men don't cry or have feelings, or, and a lot of them are just work. And not to say they're not good parents, but, it's more traditional out there. And the overwhelming support and reactions from the other dads about like telling them that I'm going to be a dad, it was like, oh my God, like, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. And it's just like, and they're like, oh, if you need anything, like, especially you want to, I don't know if Pat watches this, but like Pat O'Neill was like, man, I know we talk on Instagram and Facebook and whatever, but like, here's my number. Like, if you ever need anything, doesn't matter what time. He's a detective. Like he's up all hours all the time. So he's like, man, like, just like text, call, like we've went through it all. If you need support, like I'm there. And like, same with like my buddy, Liam Chambers. He hasn't been around for a minute.
Yeah, where's he been? Is he hurt?
He's a busted up ankle. Yeah. Yeah, he's had an MRI, and it's kind of one of those mystery injuries. Like, it's messed up, but it's not broken, but it's not.
But it's bad enough to keep him off the mat.
It's bad enough to keep him away. And he's looking to get back, but obviously he understands, unlike some of us, that you kind of got to stay away, or else you're going to be away a lot longer.
100%. Yep.
I've crept into like, oh, I feel good enough to go train, and the next thing,
it's bad.
You're like, oh shit, like maybe I wasn't. It's just my ego. But yeah, man, the community is everything. And like, some people have invited me to go to other gyms, and I just can't even bring myself to get there.
Yeah. I'm the same.
You know, nothing against it. It's just like I'm invested. Like I'm a ride or die. Like I'm for better or for worse. That's kind of how I am. Like if you're my boy, like you know, I gotta make this joke. Like I got a spare shovel and a bag of lime in the car. You just tell me where to be. You don't have to tell me what. But I'll be there.
You'll be there.
Like if that's where we're at in our relationship, like that's that's what you get. So whether it's Remax with Naz and Craig and Ryan at the brokerage, or Joel, Waylon, and the rest of the coaches and the boys at the club, like ride or die. Like it have to be some kind of insurmountable, catastrophic incident to make me go anywhere, and I couldn't even imagine what that would be.
Real bad.
Yeah, like something terrible. But yeah, man, community's everything. I think there is value in trying to do some stuff on your own, depending on what it is, but there's a lot of power in the collective, I think.
No doubt.
Yeah. But anyway, let's switch gears a little bit. I know, you're maybe just bring us a little bit through, for those that haven't maybe watched our other episode, kind of a little bit about you, your original profession, now into the real estate, and now we're pivoting into the Youth Bar, which is more aesthetics and wellness.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of background on that. How did it come to be?
Sure. So I guess, just go way back. But 2018, I graduated from Dal nursing school, became a registered nurse. That's where I met my wife. I was nursing for a little while. When I say a little while, maybe like a couple months, and I realized this is unsustainable long term. Just like right. I see some of my coworkers, 50, 60, getting old, and I didn't see that for myself. I didn't want to work somewhere that long, and just living off a pension for the rest of my life. I wanted something more for my life, for my wife, for my family. So that's when I got into real estate, and real estate was great. I loved it, and I still love it. I'll always be a real estate guy. I bought a few properties here in HRM over the years. I bought and I sold some, and then I invested in the States, past couple of years.
Cleveland, right?
Yeah, in Cleveland, bought a couple of apartments with some partners. But then
back to the collective.
Yeah, there's no way I could have done that by myself. But then, fast forward to just last fall, my wife just had a baby last August. And then we were just chatting one time, and we were just talking about just Botox, just in general. And I asked her how much it cost her, because I was just curious.
She does it?
She gets Botox, yeah.
In her face?
I think just like in her forehead
yeah.
and in between the eyes.
Yeah, the wrinkles. Like I have some bad forehead wrinkles. I don't know if you can come back from
that. you can. It takes a couple trees, but you can.
Maybe I'll go see.
But she told me how much it cost, man. I'm like, man, you're there for like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes max, $300. And I think actually the lady she sees, she has 10-minute appointments. So it's like you're coming, boom, 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 6 people, in an hour. And I'm like, do they all pay around what you pay? She's like, yeah, sometimes even more. Let's just numbers, $300-400 in 10 minutes. I'm like, this is unbelievable. Why don't we do this? Like, what do you need to do? She's like, yeah, we can do it. Like, you just have to.
Do you need a special deal?
Yeah, you do. You have to take your course, right? You have to be a nurse.
Yeah, RN.
No, LPNs can do it as well.
Yeah?
Yep, they can. So, I always have these stupid little ideas, these little schemes.
I don't know if they're stupid.
But
seem to work.
This one worked. But what I mean is, whenever I have these little ideas, she'll just shoot me down. Like, this is ridiculous. But she didn't turn me down. She's like, oh, I'm open to it. I'm like, oh, okay, you're open to it? Ran with it. So I didn't stop there. So to have a business like this, you need to have a medical director that's either a physician or a nurse practitioner.
Okay.
One of Michelle's best friends, Stephanie, she's a nurse practitioner. I'm like, let's get Steph on board. We'll start our own business, take the course. So I messaged Steph's husband, Jaime, and I'm like, Jaime, you got to tell Steph to take the course. So he did. They took the course together earlier this year. And that's how Youth Bar started. We've been open for 4 months now. We opened April 17th, I believe. So
already?
Yeah, it's been, man, time flies.
It's crazy.
But that's pretty much how the idea came into conception. Just because I realized there was a incredible opportunity there and profit, and then I hired a virtual assistant to just do some market analysis for me around Halifax. Like, what are the competitors like? Is this market, is it too niche or is it crowded? And I didn't think so. I thought there was opportunity there. There was space. I watched a video. This one lady was talking about how she called it the CRV effect, Honda CRV. So I have one. I bought a CRV a couple of years ago. Before that, I would never see them on the road. But the moment I bought one,
oh, you see them
everywhere.
Bro, sorry to interject. I've been doing car research. Every car that I've looked at, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, there's not many of those on the road. They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's just like it's like the Matrix almost. Like you don't see what you don't perceive, like what you're not even thinking about, kind of type thing. But anyway,
Yeah, you become hyper aware of them.
hyper aware.
So it's the same with these aesthetics companies. Before I was looking into this space, the hell do I know anything about it? I didn't think there was that many at all. But there are some for sure, right? But I didn't think that there was too many. And Halifax is growing, and I saw a way to just carve out our own niche. And
Yeah.
what I like about YouthBar is we're not just Botox and filler, which is a big part of the business, obviously, but we're gonna gear towards the wellness world as well.
Right.
So right now we offer IV hydration therapy, IM wellness shots. I have some cool ideas down the road as well. I can't really divulge any secrets. I haven't even told anybody. It's just thoughts I have in my head. I haven't told my wife. I haven't told Stephanie.
Yeah.
But
Top secret stuff.
there's cool things you can do in the space to really just help people on more than just purely aesthetics basis, but more so just like functional medicine and just feeling better and looking better long term. But yeah, our core business model is definitely just the Botox and filler right now. It's by far our biggest money maker. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're 4 months in. We just hired our first employee there. Her name's Grace. She's going to be joining us here in the next couple of weeks. How we came to that decision is Michelle and Steph were absolutely swamped, man, the past 3 months.
Are they still doing any shifts at the hospital? Are they full time?
Stephanie's full time as a nurse practitioner, and then Michelle's on mat leave. So she
Full time with you or full time nurse still?
full time nurse and then full time
Oh man,
with us.
Man,
So
savages.
And in fact, Steph's a medical director for another clinic as well, and she does a little bit there, much less there, and mostly with us. But yeah, she was getting work to the bone. And then Michelle, she's on mat leave. She's like, she goes back to work in August. She's like, Manny, I'd like to enjoy my last month or two here with our son before I have to go back to work full time. So yeah, we need some support. And I've been pushing for it from day one. Like the whole business model I had in mind. I didn't want Michelle, I didn't want Stephanie to be just totally bogged down in the business. I wanted them to, they're their owners of this business, so I wanted them to be able to take it a step back and help grow it on an operational standpoint. But they like injecting. Of course, they'll always continue to do that. And when you start, it's important. You need them to inject because they're the faces of the business. They're the heart. They're the heart and soul of it.
They're the people that people trust to come do it right.
They're on. They run the Instagram accounts, all the Google reviews. Almost 60 of them in just 4 months alone. All because of them, because they do great work and people appreciate that. So they're so integral to the growth of the business at the start. But as we scale, we need employees. Unless they want to. If they ever wanted to just like quit their day jobs or like their normal jobs and work full time within YouthBar, sure, go ahead. That's no problem. But I don't think that's what they want to do right now. We didn't create this business for them to both have 2 jobs because it's not sustainable. They were getting burnt out, especially Steph. And they both have children. So we have a son, and then Stephanie has a baby, 1.5. So she can't, work her normal job from 9 to 5 or whatever, and then come to YouthBar from 5 to 8 or 9, and then she just never sees her daughter. So
do you ever see maybe a progression in terms of like, obviously we're going to have kids and my wife works for HRP. She works shift work, but as the date closes in, like she's like, oh, maybe I could, because every 4 or 5 weeks she does like a night shift.
Yeah. And
I'm like, well, obviously she has a great job and she loves her job, but I was like, like my job's mostly in the evening. So if you're working the evenings, then we need like a nanny or a sitter, because I can't have 1 week every 5 weeks that I can't do anything, because that means I'll have to try and get everybody to do showings in the day. And well, guess what people do in the day? They work. So I totally get that. So do you view or see like a time where maybe as the growth and success of YouthBar continues, that maybe they're casual and then
100%, that's the goal.
Slowly slide into full-time YouthBar?
Mind you, Steph, I have no idea. I haven't talked
Speaking
to her.
More for your wife.
More for my wife, exactly. I don't know what their plans are, but with my wife, I'd love that for her, that to be her end goal. Or you know what? The best case scenario is she does whatever she wants. If she wants to work
Listen,
at the hospital,
do your thing.
Like reduced hours. Actually, she has a new job starting when she goes back. It's a pretty sweet gig, just like the work-life balance. She gets to work from home a couple of days, and she's in the office. So
she's not grinding out on the floor hours and hours.
Exactly. But, let's say 2 years from now, YouthBar is absolutely killing it, multi-million-dollar business, and she doesn't need to do that anymore. If she can reduce her hours to as little amount of time as possible. Yeah, that's always my goal for her.
Yeah, man.
That's my goal, though. Her goal for herself, I'm not sure. If she wants to work in the hospital longer, feel free. But if she wants to stop and just go full-time youth bar or full-time just mom, I'd be more than happy for that.
Yeah, man, that kind of touches on what I was going to say. I kind of broached the subject as kind of Caitlin, closes in on the finishing up for mat leave, and, it's coming real quick. And, as my business continues to grow, like I'm in my fifth year. So in May, I would have rolled into my fifth year of real estate. And, they say it takes like 3 to 5 years to really get any business like really humming. And like the wheels are underneath me now. And I kind of broached the subject. I was like, hey, what do you think about maybe like someday you just like, you don't work?
It's like stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Or just, I feel like that has like a negative connotation.
I know.
But just like mom, just, that's your.
Because like, don't get me wrong, my mother was a stay-at-home mom. But damn it, she did more than stay at home.
It's a full-time job.
Full-time job, 3 kids, sports, hockey. Like me and my brother played competitive rep hockey. She made every practice, every game. And dad also like full-time fisherman, electrician. But she also ran both bookkeepings for dad's electrical business and fishing business. Like dad wouldn't have got any bills paid, or he may have been bankrupt. Because between like picking up paychecks for his electrical work, getting bills paid, like mom did all that. Dad just did the work. Mm-hmm. Mom she was like the operations manager.
Yeah, that's her job too. So she had 2 jobs.
Oh yeah, man. So to say mom and or mothers, some might just stay, again, like it sounds so negative to say it's just stay at home, but I mean, I think there's so much value in mothers taking care of your kids.
Man, big time.
She's raising them. It's like not the daycare, it's not the school, well, except for the hours that they're there. Mm-hmm. But I think the overall influence of like having a mother to instill the actual family values of the family versus them getting values extrinsically from somewhere else, I think it's largely beneficial. I
agree more. And I don't know if this is the place for the convo. We can probably try
my wife shut it right down though. She's like, love my job, never going to quit. Yeah. I'm thinking like, what about if you just did like forensic consulting?
Yeah. Or just reduced hours.
Yeah.
No nights.
Right. Well, funny you say that. She's like, well, maybe I could get out of nights because I'm a civilian and I wasn't really supposed to work nights, but they kind of stuck me in there. So who knows what's going to develop. Obviously, she's very passionate about forensic work and DNA. And I mean, life's too short to not love what you do. So I do love how passionate she is. But as I'm moving towards like parenthood, I'm just thinking like, what's best for the kid? Like, and even like, now my whole mission was like, I've always been like, I'm sure you can attest, you are as well, like try to stay healthy, fit, eat right, within moderation, treat yourself too. But like now it's like, okay, baby's coming. What can I do to maximize my footprint on this earth for as long as I can possibly be here for this kid? Mm-hmm. And that's been like my whole journey. Like I friggin' take, like the dogs used to take more vitamins than me.
Now you take
fish oils, friggin' glucosamine. They both take CBD oil, like for anxiety, and then one's a little anxious, the other one's more for inflammation. He's got tendinitis, and I didn't do any. And my wife's always been on top of that, like all the stuff, all the time, and she's consistent, like doesn't miss a day. She's like you program it in and it's there. And like now, like I even have like a skincare routine for my face. Like I'm not ashamed of it.
You need to come to YouthBar, man.
Right? Yeah. Well, that's where I'm at. I'm on my way. But like, man, like I'm not ashamed. Like I'll take every vitamin. Like I got her to order me a bunch of stuff. I was like, "What do you put on your face?" She's like, "I use this. It's like cruelty free, integrity," and I'm all about that too. Like big, like anti-cruelty, like, and like trying to optimize overall health. Mm-hmm. Not that I wasn't healthy, but I partied quite a bit in my youth, did some stuff that really probably negated, my long-term health. But now it's like, how can I be here as long as possible for this child in the best shape that I can be?
Yes.
Because it's a shame, and generations prior, didn't have the same information, and I just find like sometimes you just go to the grocery store and it's like, holy man, some of these people have a hard time getting around.
Yeah.
And they're not old.
No, they're not.
And like, I even know people my age that like, I haven't seen in 10 years, and I see them, I'm like, holy fuck, you look like you're 50.
So I still work in the hospital too, part-time, right? And to go on what you just said there, this sad story, but a guy passed away a couple weeks ago. And when he was a patient on our floor, his wife would be there with him all the time. And I'm like, man, this guy got a young wife for how old he was. He wasn't that old. This guy looked like he was pushing 90. He was 60 something, and his wife was 60 something as well. So similar age, but she looked good and healthy, and he looked like a grandpa. So you're right. It's just like you take care of your body, your health. It's just so important long term. It's so important.
Man. You know, like I quit drinking. Like no more of that. I mean, and if I'm being honest, like most of the bad choices I've made, not that they were horrendously bad choices, but like or trouble I got into, like
You're drunk.
all drinking.
Yeah.
You know, so and you know we train jiu-jitsu, and it's like if I'm hungover, I'm not even going close to the jiu-jitsu gym.
No way.
And then I'm annoyed that I didn't go. And then I have this like cognitive dissonance about not going. And then, you know, then I feel crappy. And then I don't really want to be like doing client facing work when I feel like crap. Because that's not the best me either. Because maybe I'm like, maybe not super irritable, but like, you know, I'm annoyed with myself. And then maybe could get slightly annoyed at, you know, different external factors. So it's just not the best representation of me.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody under the influence is their best representation of themselves.
No.
Even though it's so normalized by society.
Especially like locally, like in Nova Scotia, I feel like drinking is just like a part of the culture.
And when you don't drink, you're the fucking.
You're the weird one.
They're like, what do you mean? What? Oh, just have one beer. It's like, no, I'm good, man. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a nice pint draft on a patio on a summer day.
I like
That's been,
cider. Cider's like the one that I used to drink. It just tastes like apple juice. I don't like drinking. Like I think beer is just it's just not for me. It just tastes like cold piss, to be honest with you. But like if you can make it taste like juice, that's when I would like it. But I'm the same way. I don't partake. It's just I don't see the benefit. In fact, there's no benefit. You know, it's unless like the social part aspects of it. But I'm just happy with my water and Diet Pepsi.
But I caught my 100% or whatever. Even like my treat now is like I never used to be a regular pop guy, but now like if I go out and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be a rebel, I have a regular Pepsi. You know, but it's like you say the social aspect though, but like, and don't get me wrong, like some of our friends that you know train jiu-jitsu and I love those guys, and most of my friends are all from circles where I do stuff like or train or run or we're doing those things together. Whereas like my old group of friends, like all we did together was get shit faced. So it's like. Yeah, but is that the social benefit really there? It's like they don't do jiu-jitsu, they don't do it running, they don't really lift weights anymore, sparingly some of them. They don't take care of their body. They're all way bigger than they were when we were in university. We have nothing in common.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry if some of them were listening.
Yeah, I was just going to say, but, I wonder if they follow you.
But, you know, and some of my worst decisions were made with these people. So, you know, as you kind of, you know, and it's nothing, no offense, you know, obviously they may take offense to that, but, sometimes you grow up.
Oh, it should be a wake up call for them.
And you got to distance yourself. And when you're just waking up every day, going to work, coming home, smashing 3 or 4 beer or a half a bottle of wine and every week, and then you blackout on the weekends. Like, I'm not about that.
Neither am I. Not at all.
I'm about like being better. Just 1%, 0.5% every day. What can I do to be a better human?
Man, me too. That's all I think about. Just business, my family, jiu-jitsu. That's the things that go through my mind.
Yeah,
24/7.
That's it. That's the only thing that matters to me.
Me too.
You know, and it's just like, you know, and I like doing hard stuff. Like a lot of my, you know, like I went on a 10-day hunting trip on an island with my buddy BJ. He trains at the club. He's one guy that goes ham. He's injured right now. He's been in and out, but you know, it's like got boated there. It's a little, little shack about the size of this room with a wood stove, couple bunks, and a little table like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and nothing. A little radio to, you know, battery-powered radio to be connected to civilization, and a VHF that we called in to my buddy's fathers that lived right on the shore just to check in, say we're alive.
Nice.
You know, we almost had to call Liam Chambers to get us off there.
Yeah, well, you were stuck?
Well, we almost got stuck. And we only had like 1.5 liter Nalgene bottle of water left and 2 freeze-dried meals.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, you know, we had a little panic moment. Me and BJ looked at each other because like got too windy. So we watched the boat come and we had to wave him off because he would have rolled over on the shore.
Okay.
So we had to wave him off. And as it was going back, we're like, are we going to get stuck here? Because we've already been stuck from like, we kind of each got our deer. And by Wednesday, so we're thinking like we'll get off by Thursday. It was Saturday before we got off. So we had a moment where like, oh man, like
We're in trouble.
I got shit to do. And BJ's like, yeah, I got some jobs I got to get back because he's a contractor with his partner Matt. They're both carpenters, really good framing carpenters, exterior. I always thought they did exterior exclusively, but I think they do some interior stuff too in the winter. But I go, and we were running out of battery too on our cell phones, like very under. Like BJ forgot his like charging block, so I had brought a bunch. But when you're trying to charge two phones, and you know how when you don't have service, it drains the battery even more.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, he's like, how are we going to, what happens? Like, if we can't, I was like, man, if I have 1 bar of battery left, I'm making one call and we're getting off here. He's like, how? So I'm calling my buddy Liam Chambers. He's like, who's that? He's like, he's had a search and rescue for the military. I'm sure he'll come get us.
Nice.
He's like, really? I was like, well, I don't know, but I'd try.
Yeah, he's the one person.
And I jokingly told Liam, well, I wasn't joking. I was dead serious when I was thinking about it on that island. But I kind of mentioned it to Liam. I was like, man, we almost got stuck on an island hunting, me and BJ. And like, I almost thought I had to call you. He's like, oh, bro. He's like, if you go, is this a trip you do every year? He's like, well, we're going to try to. He's like, you just tell me a day that you're supposed to text me. And if you don't, I'll send the cormorant. They'll be there in 2 hours.
Nice.
And I was like, really? I was like, who pays for that? Because like, I know if you got like an ambulance sent to your house, like it's like $600-700, you get a bill.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no bill. The king pays because it's, crown, military, right? And I go, oh, he goes, oh yeah, no problem. Like, swear to God, you guys get stuck, don't hesitate. Like, that's our job. And it's like just the time of year we go, the weather, like in November is not that, like you really get shitty. And like the boat, it's just a little 17-foot skiff his brother owns, right? So it's no big craft because we're beaching it right on the island. There's one cove we can get into. But anyway, what I'm getting at, I guess a little bit of a tangent, it's like, BJ wants to do hard shit like that. We're putting on like, 15, 20K a day walking around this island looking for deer. Like, I brought BJ, Steve Benson, and a few other rugged guys that I know. Went on a non-motorized like moose hunting trip in Cape Breton when I drew my tag last fall. Pack in everything on your back, 60, 70 pounds. And then that plus the moose on the way out, up a mountain, 10K to the camp, shot at 10K behind the camp. So we did like a marathon's plus worth of walking around. No offense to those other guys, but like there's not one of them that would do that.
Man, I wouldn't do that. That sounds hard as hell.
But you know what I mean? But like, we're just like, I don't know. There's something to me about struggling with people and getting through this shit. Like jujitsu, we all struggle together. We all work hard. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. But at the end of the day, we done it. The class is done. We feel that sense of accomplishment. And you get a bunch of dopamine and you're just chilling with the boys.
Yeah.
You sit around for a minute, shoot the shit, and then everybody goes back to work and rinse and repeat the next day. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's so cliche because I've heard Jocko and Joe Rogan and, all the bros say it. But like, I think jiu-jitsu kind of saved me in a sense. Like, not that I, was in big jeopardy or anything, but it was like, it's just reinforced a few key things for me. Just like, sometimes you got to go through the struggle to get to the good through to the other side. And it's like, I think Lucas Lepre said it best. Like, oftentimes what we desire is on the other side of our fears.
100%.
So you kind of got to walk through that fire.
Especially if you want to be good. Like, we're both, high achievers. We don't want to just be bums on the mats. So, like, if you want to be good at jiu-jitsu, you have to put in the work. You have to be disciplined. You have to train, eat smart, take care of your body. All this hard stuff.
Yeah, man.
But then it's doable.
Yeah, it's like anything. It's like, I've heard other agents or people like, oh, how did you get into your podcasting? How's it doing? And it's like, guys, honestly, like I do this to talk to my friends about their businesses or other cool people that are doing cool stuff. They're like, oh, so you're not making any money? I go, it's not about the money. It's just about connection and meeting new people and, kind of breaking up the monotony of the boring, monotonous real estate, like buy this, sell that, marketing tips, look at this, look at that. It's like, hey, why don't you listen to Manny tell me about the YouthBar and what they're doing there and like cool space and like how did they get there and some of the hardships they had to endure. So but switching back to the YouthBar, I know you talked about, and you kind of already answered some of my questions. Like, you're kind of looking for, looking at the market, you kind of identified some white space where you thought that, you could still excel in. You guys definitely kind of the brand, I think, if I got the right gist of it, you kind of emphasize the wellness and the beauty along with the confidence. and you're kind of targeting that aesthetic, but also the holistic kind of wellness segment, hey?
Big time. Yeah, you know, a lot of the clients that come in, they obviously come in because they're self-conscious about something. You know, their face obviously wrinkles. That's why people get Botox.
Yeah.
But that's like one of my favorite things about, you know, this business is like they come in, whatever, they're down in the dumps about something. They talk to our nurses, they get treated. Some of the things they get like filler, it's like immediate. You know, a girl came in the other day, she got some lip filler and it looked incredible. You know, and when she left, the confidence that, you know, was radiating from her versus being subconscious about, you know, her looks for years prior. Or a lot of the ladies that come see us, actually, like the clientele seems to be like middle-aged, 50, 40, 50, 60-year-old ladies.
Kind of like, I don't tread lightly here, but like not on the decline, but like, you know, maybe past their peak years.
Exactly. And when you hit that stage in life, of course, you know, just aging happens, right?
Yeah, exactly what I meant, guys. We're all getting older every day.
They start to look a little, yeah, they look older. You know, that's all it is. You know, and they want to look good. They want to look good and feel good.
Yeah, and almost slow that process.
Slow the process down, right? So if we can provide them that service, it's amazing. And then about the wellness aspect of things, looking good is also it's very important for yourself, for your confidence, how you show yourself to the world. But from an inside perspective, like you want to feel good on the inside. You can look good on the outside, but like if you're falling apart on the inside, it doesn't matter. It's a matter of time. It's like, you know, bodybuilders. Think about them. These guys look like, you know, massive
words
monsters.
out of my mouth. I used to do that. Bodybuilding, powerlifting.
Yeah.
It used to be I say a mountain. I'm only 5'6", so I wasn't that tall, but like I was big. Like, you know, I'm like 190 pounds now. I started going back to the gym, just a preventative stuff. But obviously, you know, I have that kind of muscle memory. So, you know, and I'm there to get a good workout in. So I go pretty hard, but not crazy. But like, yeah, man, like bodybuilding, dieting, people be like, oh man, you look great. But like,
Not inside.
not inside, man. Not inside here. Not inside here.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you bend over to tie your shoes and you stand back up,
You're out of
you're
breath.
almost so lightheaded that you want to pass out.
Yeah.
You're like, maybe not. Maybe this isn't for me.
Or just like look at all the young guys that are just dying from heart attacks. That's, you know, 20, 30-year-old because they're just pumping ridiculous amounts of gear in their body.
Well, you know, I heard this, and who else? Some prominent figure mentioned it. And I mean, I like him. I like his ideology, but like, I feel like guys like Chris Bumstead and a bunch of other younger, fairly accomplished builders like Sam Sulik and all those guys really push the drug part of it. The steroids.
Chris does, Bumstead. He does like openly talk about it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if he doesn't, I know he like.
Listen, if you're the best in the world at that sport,
Yeah.
you have to take drugs.
You're not Mr. Olympia for what 7, 8, whatever whatever amount of times.
And honestly, there's no shade to these guys. Like you have to do what you have to do to get to that level.
He's a great person. I think
Yeah.
he's fantastic. I met him once at a local show. Super nice guy.
Funny, Chris. He actually was at Dal the same time I was.
Yeah, he was still around when I knew him.
And he we played we had some sort of camp we went to. I forget exactly what the context was, but we played bump. You know, I don't know if you guys know what the basketball game is. Bump, and I beat him.
Yeah.
That's my my claim
There
to
you
fame.
go.
I beat.
Boom.
I
Bumped Bumstead
I
out.
Bumstead. But yeah, to take it back to the Youth Bar, you know, obviously we want people to look good and feel good from the inside and outside.
Yeah.
And honestly, to take a little step further back, talking about doing hard things, we were just talking about like starting a business, man. It's hard, you know.
Yeah, people just see the success,
They
especially
do.
social media,
Yes.
but they don't see like the stress and the setup and the tears and the holy shit, is this actually going to work? And we're bringing people in, and are we leading them down the wrong path? Like, what about if it doesn't work? Then we look like idiots, and then maybe it's detrimental to the people that kind of jumped on board. So,
Man, so much stress involved, you know. It's like funny. The first week we opened Youth Bar, nothing. You know, it was April 17th. I guess that was Easter weekend. 1 week, no clients. We're like, holy crap, man! We spent all on the lawyer fees, the corporate structure, you know, the rent. We didn't run any of those just yet. We're like, this is crazy. We're just not making any money. We have to go bankrupt and go, you know, run away. But there was big time stress, you know. But then we ran a couple good successful meta ads, and we got past that. But even that's just like one part of the business. There's so many things. I know. So I put an ad out before we hired Grace about hiring a nurse injector, and I didn't think there was going to be many applicants, right? But there was an incredible amount of applicants, almost 15, nurses around the city. But it made me realize there's lots of people that want to do this, but the level of business knowledge that you have to have, and just the risks that you're willing to take along the way, most people aren't willing to do. Because if this went poorly, it's like, what do we kind of give up and start again, or you just fight through. You work through the hard stuff, and then you get to the other side of it.
Bro, I'm stubborn. And I mean, I think we can probably, to a degree, I think we could say that probably you are too. Like jiu-jitsu, you get smashed down, you show up the next day, do it again, smash it again, you show up again, and you're a little bit better, and you learn a little bit more. And it's the same thing for me in real estate. First 2 years,
it's tough.
Buddy, how many times I thought about quitting bewilder you to where I am today? It's crazy. Like, people think you can just jump into something, and I naively kind of, I used to be in consumer packaged goods. I was kind of the district guy for Atlantic. Like, everything come to me. The funnels. It was all funneling. They're already created. Oh, you need ice cream in Atlantic Canada? Call Chris. You need your ice cream cabinet fixed in your store? Oh, call Chris. He'll get it done. Whereas, when you go out, like you said, like you open the doors, the lights on, and no business.
Yeah.
You got the business page up. You got, everything set up. No clients.
We're hitting up our friends that have said, hey, they've been interested, and no one's coming in. We're like, damn, right? Man, what do we do here? But that's only one aspect of the business. It's like people don't understand the sales, the marketing.
You're everything.
The client acquisition's the hardest part, but then once they're in, it's the client retention. The constant.
Why are they going to stay?
Yeah, the nurturing. Obviously, the quality of the treatment, that's super important. That's purely on Steph and Michelle and Grace and future employees. But on the back end of things, the accounting, the bookkeeping, like you said, there's so many aspects to a business that it's hard. That's why successful businesses, the owners, they're wealthy, they're rich, because they took the risk, they worked very hard to get to where they are, and now they're able to offer an opportunity for employees. Like, people get upset at these billionaires, Bezos, Musks, and I understand. From a personal standpoint, they may say and do things that I don't agree with at all. But
sure.
just from a pure business standpoint, these two guys, just Musk, Bezos, any of them actually, think about the amount of people that work for their companies that are able to put food on their tables.
Great jobs
because of them.
Too.
100%. And even the not so great jobs, but they
created employment.
They created millions of jobs. Especially Musk. I don't want to talk too much about Musk because he's obviously
a little controversial
right now. But he has 4 or 5 different billion-dollar businesses that I'm sure he is the reason that hundreds of thousands of people are employed.
And the funny thing is, I think I've seen him on Rogan, and Rogan kind of talks about not like Rogan's any small feat either, but to be where he is, but kind of come up on I think Musk even mentioned some people kind of say they want to be me, but if they were in here, I don't know if they'd want to.
Yeah, especially Musk, man. Obviously the guy's a little autistic, and I couldn't even imagine what goes through his head on the run of a day.
I know what goes through my head's exhausting. Imagine trying to balance SpaceX, Tesla, freaking. I don't know if he's still involved in PayPal or whatever.
They sold
the
X,
Boring Company,
Doge. Going to Mars, all that shit, man. He has a lot on his mind. Probably he has 20 kids. Populating the world himself.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. What's his last kid name? X or something? Or not?
But
Twitter.
But it's spelt weird.
Yeah,
I don't know how you pronounce it. But
me neither.
I say that because this guy, obviously he knows how to optimize his time. And that's something that me personally I'm still working on. Running business, YouthBar, the real estate stuff. Being a father, nurse, jiu-jitsu, all this stuff. You have to be very cognizant of how you spend your time. And even we were talking earlier about how we like to give back to people and educate. And I used to do that all the time. If anybody hit me up, hey man, you want to have a coffee? You want to have a Zoom call? I would do it. But now I'm much more. I don't do it as much. I just don't have the time.
Capacity, bandwidth.
Especially if it's in person. 15, 20-minute phone call, Zoom call, I can punch it in there. But you want to go meet somewhere? Okay, it's 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back. We're there for
plus we're there for
an hour.
Yeah,
maybe.
to be respectful, probably.
Next thing I know, it's been 2 hours, and it's just me providing value. And I have no problem doing that sometimes. That's why I like this podcast in general, because now someone can listen to this down the road, and it can help hundreds or thousands of people. Whoever listens to this,
there forever.
And it's there forever. You want to listen to it again? Boom! You just watch
somebody. Yeah. Save it in your Instagram favorites or whatever, little reel, little snippet you like.
Yeah. So I think that's something that's important, in business in general. It's like just being cognizant of your time. Time is the most valuable thing that we have.
You got to leverage your time.
You have to.
And I've been slowly, as I've grown, like re-leveraging my time. Like used to do everything on all me, all the videos.
Yeah, all the podcast
everything,
stuff.
and all the other video stuff. I try to shoot it all myself. Now, once a month, I go out with my videographer, shoot 8 or 10 videos. He edits them, schedules them. He manages my entire YouTube. I still do the Instagram for now, and he also edits my podcast.
Yeah, you bought your time back.
Yeah, man. I used to see it, and I grew up, and I want to get to a couple other things here because I don't want to keep you too long to be respectful of your time. But like, I grew up, dad, great guy, worked his ass off, Red Sea electrician, fisherman. We didn't hurt for anything. But as like technology and stuff developed for fishing, or they had these like 3D, because you got to know like the formation of the bottom of the ocean to properly like set your traps to catch the lobsters, because they kind of migrate around these, like there's humps and bumps all over the ocean floor, and they're kind of at the bottom of the humps.
Mm-hmm.
So the better you can see the ocean floor, the more strategic you can be about where you set your trap.
Right.
And like, dad, obviously what he was using whenever it come out was probably state of the art. But as we progressed and like we had these huge technological advancements, first we had like NES, then the next thing we have Xbox One. They had 3D plotters to like plot the bottom of the ocean. You can almost see like to a T what's down there. And there, there were several $1,000 investments. And dad was like, oh, no, it's too big of an expense. It's like, bro, it's an investment to exponentially grow the stock of what you're catching.
Mm-hmm.
But everything for dad was an expense. It was never an investment. It's like he'd fix something 10 times because it was like $200, $300, $400, or maybe depending on what else, maybe it was $1,000 here, but it was $15,000 to buy new. But if he had to fix it 10 times, he could have bought a brand new one and probably not had to worry about it for X amount of years or whatever the life cycle was. So unfortunately, I had to rewire myself. Obviously, when you start, you don't have as much money, so you got to do it on your own, because you can't. You don't have the resources.
It's like our marketing with YouthBar. I've been the sole one dealing with all the meta ads and the Google ads, and it's gone well, but it's not my expertise, and it takes a lot of my time. So it's like now we're at the discussion point. Hey, I think we need to hire a marketing agency to help us out here, because this will become my full-time job, and I'm not that good at it. It's like I'm going to have to spend so much time to figure this out, and then it's going to take me away from other aspects of the business. So we're going to, and same with like Google SEO. It's like such a complex beast.
SEO is a whole other job. It's a job in itself.
It is. I watched a YouTube video, and this guy spoke in depth about all the aspects of it. I'm like, man, it was like a 30-minute video.
Broke my brain when I looked at it.
I'm like, if I have to do all of these things all the time, this is my job now. I'm the SEO guy, and it's going to take me away from the marketing. It's going to take me away from every other aspect of growing the business.
You can use some AI to help with that.
You can. You'd have to, right? But yeah, you have to outsource the things that, not so much that you don't like, but stuff that
it's not good at it.
Not good at it, but it's important.
Yeah. Or it's going to take you so long to learn it. It's going to take away from the other aspects of your business, and then other things are going to falter. Then it's like, if that's down the shitter, then what the fuck's SEO going to help? Excuse my French, but
I just read a good book. It's called Fail or Scale, and that's something that the lady talked about. She was talking about, like, when you hire somebody, an employee, or whether it be a marketing agency, like you said, you can't think about them as an expense or just another part of the payroll, but they're an investment. If you hire somebody that's a good injector or a good marketing agency, cool, they may cost $4 or $5 a month, whatever.
But what do they bring back in?
If they bring in 10 times more than that,
yeah, it's all about your ROI.
It's a win, right? Especially the marketing, like the return that you can get on a good marketing agency can be exponential.
Oh man.
Same with a good employee. They can, if you hire someone that's very good, you pay them well, obviously give them bonuses and stuff like that, but yeah, they obviously they're the face of the business, just like Stephanie and Michelle would be. They can bring in so much for you, and then when you hire other employees, and then other things about running a business is just like, we're not there yet really, because like Stephanie and Michelle are friends, and then Grace is just new, but managing just different emotions and different people. I compare it to just like my job at the hospital. obviously, it's a woman dominated field, but it's like a lot of different personalities and managing it all. And one thing I like about, a private business versus like a unionized business is like somebody can come work at, the hospital here and they suck, like just
you never get rid of it.
So hard to fire somebody because they become like a dark cloud. They call in sick. They're late. They're lazy.
Pressure on everybody else.
Big time.
Everybody else complaining. Everybody else, the morale goes down because so-and-so's got to do X person's work. And
then they call in sick. This person calls in sick all the time. Oh, I'm going to call in sick. Right. Oh, I'm going to call in sick. And just
it's a disease.
It's a pyramid, right? It just gets worse and worse. But,
look at, government workers.
Same idea. Exactly. Unionized jobs. It's hard to get rid of people. And I'm not anti-unions, by the way, if anyone's listening to this, but when you have these smaller companies, the environment is so important and everybody getting along and liking each other. So we have an opportunity here at Youth Bar, while we're still small, to really just cultivate a good environment for everybody. And that's kind of the goal moving forward. Cause Grace is just number one. We're already probably gonna have to hire another injector here in the next, few months. And then, where we operate right now, I don't know. I can't tell people too many secrets, but we're gonna expand. We're gonna go to a different location eventually, right?
Yeah.
Whether
you're down Heron Cove, right?
We're in Heron Cove right now. And we'll always keep that location, but we're looking for a bigger location with a partner of ours. And when we do that, we're gonna have to hire more estheticians, more nurses. We're gonna expand, and the environment there is super important. I have a friend. She works at another clinic. I'm not gonna say any names, but she's told me, just like internally, it's not going well there because the owners don't care about the employees that much. And
that's the biggest mistake across all businesses. I've seen Unilever do it.
Same idea.
We care about our employees. We love it.
But they don't.
No perks. Like, we had a ton of perks. Company cars. We had good stipends for when we're out working, for dinner, lunch, breakfast, all that stuff. Just shave. Eventually. And you think about, like, it come down to, like, yeah, we'll give you $25 for dinner.
$25.
And I'm like, I can't even get a Subway sub for $25.
No, that's crazy.
I can't even go to McDonald's for $25, really.
Mm-hmm.
And be full. I'm a big eater, though. But people undervalue, again, it's an expense. No. Your employees are an investment, and your company's only as successful as how happy your employees are.
You are.
Now, all these big Fortune companies all forgot about that. It's all about shareholders' bottom lines, dividend returns. It's all about that. Every company that says they actually give a shit, they don't.
There was a company there during COVID. I forget what it was exactly, but it took
I got let go in COVID.
Yeah, so this company had to let go of employees, but what the CEO and owner did was he just got rid of his salary. And he took his money and then reimbursed it back to his employees.
Far between.
And now that company post-COVID is absolutely thriving because it has the most loyal workers imaginable because they know the owner, CEO cares about them. And then I listened to another podcast, this guy that owns 20 odd clinics here in South Africa. He says he treats his employees like they are owners, and then he treats himself like an employee. And because of that, they're thriving.
Yeah, man. I wish more people would see that. It's just the most disheartening thing about lately today that I've noticed is the greed. Corporate greed. Even grocery, man. I used to work in that business, consumer packaged goods. Like, people think Sobeys and Loblaws give a shit about you.
No way.
No. You think those prices up in those grocery stores are just inflation? No. Like, we used to run ads, and my counterpart that used to run the Loblaws ice cream business was like, say you had an ad last year that performed, $100,000 of profit for them or whatever, or gross revenue. And you run the same ad the following season and only does 80,000. They're fining you for the other 20, even though it's like, well, it's like, we just like give you the ad spend to run the ad. Like, you guys are the ones selling the stuff, but like, we got to pay for the difference. Mm-hmm. And like, it's just, there was nothing about like what's better for people. It's all about how much money is Loblaws getting, how much money is Sobeys getting. And to be honest, like, I even applied for a few jobs, like, because like I just seen the writing on the wall, and it's like they pay their people like shit. And all those companies always boast about how they're like, anchors of the community, and like, especially Sobeys, maybe once upon a time when they weren't across the country and they were kind of Nova Scotia exclusive. Mm-hmm. But as they expanded and become more of a national presence, like I feel like that like small town community feel
It was lost.
growing up in Stellarton. No, that doesn't exist.
No. So, as we grow at Youth Bar, it's like just trying to avoid that. And I heard this one billionaire one time say, just like you get to a certain level of success and wealth where it inevitably changes you to an extent. But he said the way you prevent that is just by keeping people around you, like family, loved ones, that will always speak truth to you. You don't want to have a bunch of yes men around you all the time, because the wealth will change you then. But like if you have people that will be honest with you, like my mom, she'll not enough money in the world will change my mom. You can give her $1 trillion, that's how she is. So like keeping her closer, like my wife.
Shout out to mom.
Shout out to mom, man. We wouldn't be. I always tell people the biggest advantage anybody can have in life is having good parents. By far, it's lucky. Obviously, some people aren't so lucky, but
yeah,
it sets you up
privilege.
For success.
Yeah. Switching gears again, just back to the Youth Bar thing. Like one thing that I was curious to talk about a little bit before we break off is, obviously there's a bit of stigma around Botox and injections, and it's like, oh my, I'm gonna get a lazy eye, or if you do it, you got to keep doing it. Like, what do you say to people that are kind of skeptical and feel like it's like, oh, I heard it's not healthy, or blah, 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 blah. Like, what's your how do you guys educate people around that when they come in, if they have a bit of skepticism, but they kind of want to get rid of a few wrinkles and stuff? Like, have you guys encountered much of that? And how did you kind of try and combat the societal kind of negative views?
Yeah, honestly, it's faded away quite a bit, especially frequently. Recently. The Botox business itself, it's like a $17 billion business and it's growing annually. And then filler itself is another, I think it was like $15 billion, but it's growing.
Filler's different than Botox.
Yeah, it's a different product. Filler is growing 10%, annually as well. But the stigma, there's more stigma around men getting Botox, to be honest with you.
That was my next point.
That's much more rare. I would say maybe like 6 guys out of, let's say, 300-ish people that have come in and gotten Botox at Youth Bar over the past 4 months. Six of them have been men. So, yeah. But the stigma around women, yeah, man, we don't come across it, man. It's because, especially for women versus men, there's just so much societal pressure to look good. Beauty is just a big part of, womanhood. And for the good or the bad, sometimes there's some unhealthy and negative connotations to it. Like people go overboard. That's actually one big thing about Youth Bar is like we're big on just natural beauty. Especially with filler, you can go overboard. You see some of these ladies just gigantic lips. They're just cheeks. At the end of the day, if they think that looks good on them, whatever, you do you.
guys advise a bit against that.
Yeah, and we won't even do it. Like if somebody comes in and they want like 3 syringes of filler in their lips and they're just going to have just gigantic lips, we're not going to do it because that becomes associated with our brand, right?
Where'd you get that done? Oh, the Youth Bar. It's like, oh,
I'm not going there.
A little too, extra.
So we love just the natural look. We just want to accentuate someone's natural beauty. That's all our goal is. But to be honest with you, but like the stigma around it's significantly faded with women. It's just
you find it's a little misplaced too.
Yeah, it's misplaced. It's not bad for you, man. It fades away. And like, so one thing you mentioned about like the lazy eye, there are definite risks involved with Botox if your injectors aren't skilled. I know actually there's places around town where people that aren't nurses will inject you for cheap. I forget. I don't know her name actually.
No thanks.
Yeah, this is a medical procedure.
I'm not great with needles anyway. But.
It's a medical procedure. Like where someone's injecting something into your face, you want to make sure that they're skilled and know what they're doing and understand anatomy and side effects. And this is a medication. That's why we need a doctor or a nurse practitioner to order the product.
Right. Is there any post-injection pain, or are
no.
you pretty well? No.
No, there's no
just
pain.
A little prick.
The Botox doesn't feel like anything.
Really?
Like there's a thing where you get Botox in your lips. I forget exactly what it does, but it just kind of helps accentuate your smile a little bit.
Yeah,
that hurts a little bit.
Of course, because you're a bit bigger than you
but like,
naturally are.
But your forehead, cheeks, wherever wherever you get Botox, it shouldn't hurt if your injector knows what they're doing.
And don't be afraid to say something maybe if it does.
Yeah, big time. Filler, a little different. That especially like in the lips, it might hurt a little bit. Same idea. Anything with like going into the lips, it might hurt a tiny bit. But there's things you can do. Numbing cream, a dental block. It's like when you go to the dentist and they're doing stuff. This can alleviate all of that pain. And Youth Bar, we offer that. One thing too about just like making sure you see the right injector. In the UK, they just passed the bill. This doesn't affect us really, but maybe down the road it might come here. But it allows non-nurses to inject if they have proper oversight by a doctor or physician. And I think there's a lot of backlash on that on Instagram that I was seeing. It's because, and I understand it to an extent, like I wouldn't want to be injected by someone who's not a nurse, who's just like a
Joe Blow off the street.
Exactly. And like there's places in Toronto, I know, in fact, you can go and you can get Botox from these random people and it'll be really, really cheap. So we charge $10 a unit. That's our normal price for Botox.
How many units on average do people need?
It varies significantly from person to person, but let's say anywhere between 20 to, one lady got 80, it can be a lot.
$200-ish.
$200 on the low end.
300 plus.
No, man, up to 800. If you're getting a lot of units, if you're getting a full face done. But anyways, this one.
You said 80 units.
80 units, yeah.
I thought you said 80.
We had a lady, I forget how many units she gets, but she used to just fly to Toronto because she's like, I can get a cheap flight. I go to this one place, run, by this little sketchy thing. They charge $5 a unit, 50% off.
It's like, man, you just paid for what? A cheap flight, still what, $200-300?
Yeah, but maybe if she gets a full face, at the end of the day, it could be worth it.
Could be. From the price standpoint.
From the price, but the risks involved, because I'm sure this lady is not using real Botox.
Yeah, she's not insured.
Nothing, man. She's just getting some Temu.
Yeah, what's in there?
Who knows? You could be injecting water. Temu Botox.
Ugh.
And now we're talking.
Does that exist?
It exists, and it's dangerous.
Temu sells it?
Everywhere, man. You can get just black market anything.
I don't want anything from Temu, I don't think.
Me neither, but people will do this to save $1, and I think it's risky and it's dangerous. This is not it's not facial cream. This is an injection into your face. It's puncturing your skin into your bloodstream, right? So
I still live by that like old adage, man. Like I have no problem paying for a fair market price for good, honest work.
Big time.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, you do.
If you want to cheap out on everything, you're gonna get cheap results, and you're not gonna be happy in the end.
No, you're not.
I'm not saying you got to go right to the top, like, because sometimes you can't afford that, but like fair market price.
It's like $10 a unit versus $5-6 a unit, so it's like a 40-50% difference, but at the cost of what? This is your health. Your health that you're risking, and I think it's dangerous. So yeah, getting back to the initial point there, just like we want Youth Bar. We pride ourselves on excellence on quality of our work. So Michelle, Stephanie, Grace, anybody that comes on board moving forward, they'll be top notch and best at what they do. And that's the brand that we want to build. Be very trusted by the community, and it's proven just by our retention so far. Like usually, Botox can last anywhere between 3 and 4 months, sometimes a little longer. But
it's that long.
Yeah,
so you're not in there like every other week.
No, and in fact, it can be up to 6 months. That's what my wife Michelle. It's usually every 6 months. That's how she go. But we're getting a lot of return people. So the people that are coming to us from day one, like the early people, now we're on month 4. It's hey, we're ready to come back. And this is like the whole point of it. This is client retention. We did such a great job with them on the first go around.
You got no problem.
And now they'll be with us moving forward. Every 3-4 months. And filler is the same, but even less frequently. Filler is like once a year. So it's a little bit more expensive than Botox, but not really if you think about it. If you get Botox, let's say you're getting 30 units 4 times a year, and you get 30 units. So let's say $300 a pop. It's $1,200 plus tax a year. Filler, you come once and you get 1, maybe 2 syringes. It might cost you $1,000, and then that's it for the year.
So about the same.
It's very similar, right? But again, back to the point, it's like excellence. We want to make sure people love our product and they love the service that we provide, not just the Botox, but the overall experience. When you come to Youth Bar, when you talk to me, so I'm actually, people don't know, but when they text and call, I'm usually point person. Like I told you on my way here, I was talking to somebody. Yeah. I make sure we have a great interaction. I'm very friendly. I answer any questions that I can. This one lady came yesterday. We had to rework her appointment like 6 times. But every time she called me, I was more than happy. Any email, any text, I'm just very pleasant to deal with. And that's just like point step one, and then when they come see Michelle, and then afterwards, we make sure they love their whole experience from the start to the end. Because other places, it's not like that, right? And that's how we differentiate ourselves.
Bro, customer service is dead.
And that's why these businesses suck, because like if customer service, it's everything.
Man, I went to a restaurant. We were looking at houses late with a client. They wanted to go grab a bite to eat, and they invited me. So we scoured around. And I mean, this is like through the week in Dartmouth at like, not even that late. It's like 8:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30. Like, okay, where do we go? We went to a bunch of places, close. Or the bar was open. Finally, we get to like, I think it was Big Leagues or something in Dartmouth.
Mm-hmm.
Looked up online. Oh, open till 9:30. Perfect. Like kitchen specifically. We go there. There's 4 of us. Walk in. Hey, can I get a table for 4? They're like, oh yeah, but we just got the bar open. I go, oh, well, your website said 9:30. She goes, yeah, we don't update that. She turned around and walked away. That was it. That was the end of the interaction.
It's brutal service.
I looked at my clients. I go, well, you guys want to go to McDonald's or something? like
They're open.
Yeah, and we kind of laughed. And anyway, we ended up at Boston Pizza, but like I couldn't believe it. Like, you know, and I mean, yeah, whatever. She's a, you know, hourly server, probably doesn't care, but like, you should have people that care a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, hey, sorry guys, yeah, I know it says that on the website, but actually we've been closing the kitchen at X o'clock because it just like doesn't merit the business anymore. We've had a lot of inquiries like this. Apologize, but like maybe come in another day.
Mm-hmm.
Does it cost you anything to just be a little bit nicer?
Literally, be nice and polite. That's all you have to be.
Right? Just that's it. Like, you know, and I'm like you. I try and make the experience as good as possible because, you know, real estate's super stressful. I mean, you're buying it too. So, when you're buying real estate and especially the sizable investments that you guys have made, even with partners, like, you know, it's a stressful transaction. So you want to make people feel good about what they're doing, reassure them that they're doing the right thing, you know, that they have all the information they need to make the best choice to move forward on it as possible. And at the end of the day, like, they remember how you treated them, how confident
how you make them
feel, how available you were, not over like crazy, like, you know, always like, because you don't want to, you got to have some degrees of separation, some barriers. Yeah, boundaries. I was going to say barriers. But like, yeah, you got to be there for people when they need you. And like, that's the one thing I've heard the most about, especially the real estate industry. And even from my perspective, nobody answers their phone. Not one. I shouldn't say not one. Some of them do. Very few. Very few. Call, text, call. Even for booking showings, like, hey guys, like, you guys gonna confirm this showing request? Like, I got clients that might want to buy this. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, sorry, I never got to it. And I'm like, God, I called you like 3 times and texted you like 4.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And some of these people do good business, like, or a lot, but it's like I think those people are just gonna
dwindle away.
Dwindle. When you got guys like me that are, you know, really trying to provide the best service possible, not to pump my own tires, but like, one thing I tell people, like, I will be available when we're in a transaction. If you don't get me right away, I will get back to you in a very reasonable amount of time. You will always be able to get in touch with me if you have any concerns.
It's funny, we were talking about boundaries there. We should have them. I currently don't. Somebody.
Mine are pretty flexible too.
Someone messaged me this morning, 7:32. They got a response from me. And same idea. You email me at 11:30, you get a response. Yeah. You know, if I see it, you know, that's if I'm asleep or I'm busy. You obviously you have to wait. But
same thing. I just don't want to set too much of the expectation because, like, obviously, especially with the kid, and you know, you're growing a business, you want to get the wheels running, and like I was very much the same way. But like now, I try not to take any like emails, texts. Like I might answer, but like try not to take any calls unless it's like emergency.
Yeah. Luckily for me, no one's calling me. 9. No one's calling me late. Yeah. But I get those emails called because the thing is, same with I guess realtors. So if you're someone's looking for a house, or someone's looking for Botox, and they're just web searching, and they see YouthBar. Oh, they see this place. Oh, they see this place. They may reach out to everybody at once.
Yeah. First person.
So if I answer that phone, if I answer that text, I answer that email, we get that client. I slack. I don't. We lose them, you know. And
that is the risk for sure.
This person could be someone who's ready to get, you know, $2,000, and they may have a network of people that want to get lots of treatments. So losing out on that person to me can be very detrimental. So I do everything I can, but sometimes, you know, you like you said, at a certain point you do need boundaries. You have a new kid coming. I have a baby. It's like, I'm bad for this sometimes. You know, when we had a successful meta ad going, I was getting lots of calls and stuff for lots of leads coming in right during supper. It's like, I should be just put my phone away, enjoy supper with my wife and my son. But it's like, oh, I got to take this call, honey.
It's a bit different though, man. Like you're just getting off the ground running, right?
Exactly.
You
So
kind of got to suffer a bit.
Some
upfront.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Once we get to a certain point, then maybe I won't have to do this. Or really,
You having him in.
that's the goal. That's what I need, to be honest with you. We're probably not there just yet, but like we're very close. So it's like we have these marketing people probably coming on soon, more employees, but then a salesperson, a front desk person to kind of handle these little, I don't want to say they're like minuscule tasks. Like it's super important at client acquisition, but having somebody trained to do that for me, oh man, it would save me a lot of time.
Yeah, man. I mean, it kind of brings a memory, when my buddy Joe Power and one of the, I can't remember. I know Joe's heavily involved in the operations and the management. I think he's a part owner, but I shouldn't speak. I don't mean to misrepresent because I haven't talked to him in forever. But I know he had a pretty big part in it. Purple Cow Internet, my buddy Bradley Farquhar.
I know Bradley.
Yeah. You know Bradley. That's right. And then, do you know Joe Power?
No, and honestly, I don't really even know Bradley. When I was sending out letters to buy people's homes, I sent to one of his properties, and he gave me a call. We had a chat one time. That's my only interaction with him.
Okay.
So I wouldn't call him a friend. He's just a guy I spoke to once.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know who I'm talking about. So funny talking about you taking calls at supper table. We were out. Joe lives in the States now, but he'd come back because they were kind of just getting Purple Cow off the ground running. And, at the time we're out for a beer and a bite to eat. And he was on the phone the whole time because he was the customer service guy. He's like, oh, hold on. He's like, almost got two phones. Like, look. So he might as well not even have been there.
Yeah.
But he wanted to be, and we wanted him to be there too. But there was no real personal interaction with him. He's on the phone the whole time.
Right.
I was like, you should have just, stayed in the U.S. It must be miserable to try and connect with people and do that. But again, look at their business now; they're doing great.
Exactly.
He's definitely not doing it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So
short-term pain.
Short-term pain, long-term gain. A big proponent of saying that. Just a couple more questions, and then we'll let you get back in the world. I was just curious, Botox, filler, obviously, would you say that's kind of number one?
Botox and fillers definitely the biggest profit driver at the moment. Also, it's just like especially Botox, very easy price point to get into.
Yeah.
So it's like depending on how many units you get, obviously, it's not too expensive. But moving forward, I think it will always be a part of the core business. But as we expand, maybe more functional medicine stuff. A big opportunity I see in the industry right now is just like around like hormone optimization for men and women. Older ladies, even older, like not even older men, people hit 40, 50, low test, women, whatever.
My wife was just talking about it.
It's so important.
Perimenopausal or menopausal stage women, like they see like the reason they have like such a higher risk of osteoporosis and all these other ailments that essentially, I think kind of diminish their life cycle. It's because of the abrupt cease of estrogen.
Yeah.
And where men, like it slowly, testosterone slowly declines over time. So it's not as drastic and we don't suffer quite as much. And she was like, I might have to do some hormone replacement therapy like when I'm a bit older.
I think so. And it's unfortunate, man. A lot of these like family physicians, they're not trained in this aspect. Like
no idea. They're not even close.
They're generalists of medicine, right?
The endocrinologist I went to see has
no idea, right? I have a buddy, has some low test, and he went to see his family doctor, told him about it, and he won't do anything. So he's like, what do I do? He's like, Manny, what do I do? I'm like, man, I don't know what to tell you. Of course, you can get some black market tests. I know tons of bodybuilders that can get it for you, but then like you have to be, cognizant of your blood work and stuff. It's a headache,
Some of them don't even want to do your blood work.
Yeah, which is brutal.
It's crazy.
I know a friend of mine had to go to Toronto. I forget what the clinic is, but to get all this situated for him, he had a consultation, blood work, the TRT prescribed to him, and then ongoing blood work and stuff like that. And he paid a little, not a crazy amount, but he paid a little bit of a premium for this. Plus he had to, I don't know if he had to go to Toronto. I think he could have done it all virtually, but I'm like, it's crazy. There's nothing like that here in Halifax.
No, nobody knows. My physician, I talked to her about it. No idea. Had to talk to another doctor in her office. To say he knew anything is a leap. And then I'll name drop him. I don't care. I had a miserable experience with this guy, Dr. Yip. little Asian guy, specialist, endocrinologist, biggest asshole I've ever met,
Oh man.
and was just terrible to deal with. Very didn't want to bend at all. And my test come back normal low, and I'm like, bro, I'm in my early 30s. You think normal low is good from here till ever after?
It's only gonna get worse.
Like it's not getting better, man. Like it's going down every day.
And you're already a very healthy, active guy.
Yeah, and he's basically like, he's like, oh,
That's what I can do for you.
yeah, basically.
Yeah, so guys like this that have, power in our industry here, I think it's an opportunity. I was not going to mention this because I'm like, I'm giving some secrets to Youth Bar. But the thing is, back to just like the business standpoint, everyone has ideas. It's execution that's by far the most important aspect of all of this. So somebody, maybe watch this that has their own beauty aesthetics clinic, and they're like, oh, this is a good idea. Maybe I'm going to copy this idea from him, do it first. But good luck. The execution aspect is by far the hardest point, and that's something I can do.
That's why I'm not afraid to tell anybody what I'm doing.
Yeah, because
guess what?
They won't do it.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it as good as I can. And my good is better than a lot of people. Sorry if that sounds arrogant, but like I've started a lot of hard stuff. Powerlifting, national champion, bodybuilding, provincial champion, sixth in Canada. Jiu-jitsu, almost a black belt, first degree brown belt. Started run an 8-hour endurance race. Yeah. Ran a friggin' half marathon. Mind you, I'm not breaking land speed records. I'm not saying I'm like...
But you're doing it.
But I'm doing it. You know what? I said I was going to do it. I got it done. Jordan Ridgely called me 6 days out from Blue Nose Half, called me a pussy, told me to go run the half with him. 6 days later, we're running the half, and I'm running it just like, there's runners. Like I seen a girl, she just ran a half marathon, 5-something pace. It was like an hour, 58 minutes. Like I ran mine 2:14. I make the joke, I'm not even a runner. Mm-hmm. So yeah, learn what I do, take what I know
and execute.
You won't execute better than me.
Or at all.
Most people is at all. And those are the resentful ones.
They are, man. I saw a stat one time. It just broke down like what you need for success. And like it allocated 5% to just the idea, and then it was like 50% to the execution, 30% to the team, which is integral. I forget what the other part was, but yeah, having a proper team and being able to execute, you can take a mediocre idea. If you have a very good team and you're able to execute it well, it will work and it'll be successful. But you could have Facebook or Google, but if you have an out of this world idea, but if you have a shitty team and you aren't able to execute the plan, useless, meaningless.
Yeah, I forget. I'm going to butcher the exact quote, but I think it was like Denzel. I seen a clip of him, and it's like an idea without execution is essentially just a dream.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just got a thought. Who cares?
There's a lot of people with great ideas out there too.
Big time.
And they're not doing anything with them.
So, yeah, just take it back to just business in general, man. You got to be able to execute on all fronts.
Yeah, and like suffer through that because it's not, guess what? Some people can get lucky, hit it right on the mark, and they're running right away. Most people, on average,
it's not the case.
It's not. It's going to take, 3 to 5 years
to
really, really get any traction. 3 to 5 years. If you're not willing to put that amount of time into anything, then maybe just keep doing what you're doing.
There's a saying, it's like people overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in 5 years. Like you can do a lot in 5 years if you stick with something. But yeah, man, that's pretty much Youth Bar in a nutshell. Just a baby company in its infancy. But yeah, maybe next time I come on this pod again, it will be in a different stage. I should come on every single time I get a belt promotion. That'll be so I'll be here 5-6 times.
Yeah,
might be maybe a couple years away from purple, but when I'm there, Youth Bar will be in an incredible spot, and then I can kind of multiple locations, maybe franchise, cross country, who knows? But it'll be cool.
Sky's the limit, man.
Cool to tell everybody the journey and educate along the way how we did it, so people can copy and paste. Because that's the thing. Like
there's no secret.
No secrets at all, man. I'd love for anybody to take my learnings that I've learned so far from Youth Bar and real estate and just copy and paste it and put it into their own life. You're just learning from my mistakes, and I've made plenty along the way.
Oh, buddy, you and me both.
So
there's enough cake out there for everybody.
If somebody can avoid the mistakes I made and just get to their end goal faster, then man, I'd be very happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's a great place to end it off.
I think so too.
It was a great conversation. We always have great chats. And I know we both want to get to training, and it's 11 o'clock. So
It's 11 o'clock.
yeah.
I thought we said we were gonna have a half-hour chat.
Well, it's
This is a
an
good-
hour and 21 minutes. So,
Just edit out some stuff. I guess it was too long.
Nah, it's not too long. It's like you say, you can't, we had a good roll, a good dialogue. I think the whole content was great. So, happy to do it.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me on, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thanks again, Manny. Always interested to hear what you're up to. And like you said, whether it's belt promotions or business expansions, we'll have you on again. Absolutely.
Awesome, brother.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.